So I have been drafting this presentation with the purpose of helping you out in case you are in a similar business like Belkin, to get some ideas and maybe just to implement at your own company. And if you want to discuss later on, I'm going to be around today. Unfortunately, tomorrow not here, but you can always, you can always come and talk to me if you want. Well, I do realize I'm the fortunate person to stand between you and the lunch, or even worse, between you and a nice nap. So if you would feel as really losing your attention, I will understand if you want to just leave or just take a nap. It's okay. About Belkin. How many of you know Belkin as company? Not many. Probably those of you are English or Dutch. We are a company that is based in California. It's an American company, and it pretty much reflects the American dream started by people like Steve Jobs or Bill Gates. Our founder, as you see there, is still our actual CEO. His name is Chad Pipkin. Started this business 30 years ago in the city of Los Angeles. Just like many others, he started out of his dormitory at university selling cables. The business of selling cables went pretty well, so he stopped with his studies and he moved the cables into a garage of his parents, as you can see there. So basically, it's kind of similar to other stories where the leader is starting the business from the garage. Now I was pondering that might be something good for my retirement if I start investing in garage for my kids. I could probably retire easily earlier. The point is that I have 4 kids, so it's quite an investment to buy 4 garages here in Amsterdam. So it started in 1983. As you can see, some of the products that we have been selling during these years. It started with the cables that were compatible with the Macintosh, and it went into routers. It went into accessories for products such as Apple products or Samsung products. So you can see here some cases, some iPhone cases. We also sell like iPod cases, whatever you can think about the Apple devices, we have it. Just recently, we have been acquiring a company from Cisco. I thought there was a lady from Cisco earlier. So we are very proud because normally Cisco only acquires company. They never sold any company, and we were the first company acquiring from them. So us, very small, buying from the giant Cisco was really a nice experience. Yeah, so this is a little bit about the products that we sell. Since shortly, we are also selling Wemo, which is a product that allows people from their own iPhone to connect with all devices in a house. The Belkin Academy. So now we come to the point of this presentation. So in 2012, when all the other companies were pulling out resources from learning and development, at that time, Belkin didn't know anything about learning and development. We never did anything about learning and development. We did invest sometimes in external trainings. Just some people that wanted to get a further education, we would stimulate and support it. But there was not even like a department called L&D. It was pretty much centered in the HR activities of the HR business partner supporting with that. But it was nothing really structured. So we came up with the idea of, again, where everybody's pulling out, we pull in. Let's just think of something smart. But obviously, the company is not big. I think I forgot to tell you that in Europe, we are 350 employees. And worldwide, we have something like a little bit less than 3,000 employees. So it's not a huge company. Obviously, you cannot expect that we have big budgets such as Philips or Unilever or Shell or whatever. So it was kind of tough to come to the board and convince them that it was the right time to invest in something that they never really thought of, they never really heard of, asking for money. And on top of that, the idea was not coming from US, was coming from Europe. And for those of you who are American here, sorry for saying that, but our American colleagues, they often suffer of it's not invented here kind of syndrome. So we are not going to do that. So it was kind of tough because from the budget perspective, but it was also tough culturally because it was just basically we were telling them, we are starting something in Europe and you guys from the headquarters just watch us. So in the end, we managed, and I got a budget of 100,000 euro. So I was very happy with that. It sounds like nothing. So it was like, okay, now we have the money. What are we going to do with that money? And more important, how we are going to make sure that there is a return on investment, but there is a lot of support from the business. We were very lucky to get, I was very lucky anyway, to get the support of the colleagues of the executive team. So there was a lot of enthusiasm about this Belkin Academy. And we designed this academy based on 5 pillars. As you can see, we have internal and external trainings. We have Belkin University, job shadowing, e-learning, and coaching and mentoring. If you look at it, probably it's like, well, what's new? I mean, we all have that. It's just the way we organize it that it's, in some cases, new. So if we start, well, this is, by the way, the hours we have been investing in learning and development since we started. October 2012, the academy was born. Until now. So as you can see, it's quite a lot, especially if you look at hours invested on average per employee, 52 hours. That's quite nice amount, at least for our business. When before we never did anything, we can be really proud of that. Also, we increased, since the introduction of the Belkin Academy, we increased the internal job fulfillment. When I arrived at Belkin, the internal job fulfillment was really very low. I think it was around 5%. It was even like painful for me to tell we are at 5%. It was almost nothing. We were heavily investing in agencies to recruit people. So as you can see now in fiscal year 2014, the situation has been changing, and the internal growth is huge. We are really happy with what we are getting from the business. So we stopped that idea, the grass of the neighbor is greener. Let's look at our own grass and let's make sure that we utilize that knowledge and expertise. So going back to one of the pillars, the internal training, what did we do? We said we don't have much money to buy and purchase all sorts of nice trainings outside, but we do have a bunch of very enthusiastic people, very talented people, and let's recycle the internal knowledge. So what we did, we posted the internal vacancies for trainers. We didn't really care if the people had the experience or not. The only condition was they had to be passionate about training. So we were very surprised to get loads of reactions, and we selected a number of trainers that then looked at the list of trainings that we have been, we conducted a survey on the needs for trainings within the organization. So we knew what kind of soft trainings the people were expecting to have, what did we need as a business to teach to the people. And then these people that were selected as trainers could choose a subject that they were passionate about, they had interest about, they wanted just to offer a training to the people. And we just gave them a train-the-trainer training session. So we kind of gave them the rudiment on how do you train and how do you make people enthusiastic about trainings. And then what we saw is that they really got so interested in the type of training they were going to train that they invested a lot of time outside work just to learn more and more about that. What we saw, by the way, is that even our executive team was taking part in trainings given by employees in a lower position. So I saw sometimes, colleague from the vice president of finance going just in NLP training offered by somebody in the warehouse, which was really great. I mean, I was really proud to see that. So there was that going on in the company, and at the moment there are 42 internal trainings and 43 trainers. So we have loads of trainers, and you still need to keep in mind we are 350 people. You could argue, okay, that's nice, you have internal trainings, but very often the quality of the trainings is bad. This is the result of our internal trainings and how employees are rating our internal trainings. So as you can see, 89% is rating from good to excellent. And believe me, they are really tough people. It's not like, okay, you are my friend, I'm giving you a nice, excellent mark. Really, we are very critical about the marks that they are giving. So that gives us a positive feeling about the way we have been setting up that type of trainings. External trainings, this is not much different with the trainings that you probably are offering. We just offer ad hoc trainings to people that need to have like an education in finance or in legal, any other thing. So this is not really quite new. E-learning, we selected, again, I mean, you might have e-learning in your company as well. What is new about this e-learning, we wanted to have an interactive e-learning module. So we selected the company that is offering trainings, live trainings, so people can connect into the session and they can just hear a trainer training. And they can ask questions, so it's pretty interactive. So it's not a pre-recorded disc that they just listen and it gets boring. It's just more interactive. Again, we did a lot of study on that. We got really a cheap solution that it's working really fine. Coaching and mentoring program, you might have some sort of mentoring program in your company. My experience is that companies generally tend to use senior people to coach and to mentor more junior employees. Where our focus is at Belkin is more like the peer-to-peer coaching and mentoring. So what we do, we encourage a lot colleagues on the same level to coach and mentor each other, rather than just looking for senior people. And actually, we have had the situations, again, where I had somebody in, oops, I'm going to fall, somebody in the executive team that was being coached by a sales leader in the country. So actually, it's not even peer-to-peer, but it's the other way around. So somebody on a higher level being coached by somebody on the lower level. And he wanted just to gain a little bit more sales skills, so it was really good. What kind of coaching do we do and what kind of mentoring do we do? We obviously do skill coaching, but we also do soft, skill coaching, technical skill coaching, but also softer skills coaching. And we tend to coach people. We do the transitional coaching. I bet you that you have a number of people that you promote, and then when they are in the new position, they are pretty much, at least at Belkin, they were left on their own. Like, oh, you're very good. You go to the next position. We don't do anything about that. So we support them in that transition to another position. We also coach people that are quite good in what they do, but they just need to reinforce and strengthen some of their competencies or their skills. And then we do also the coaching, obviously, for non-performing people. All people that can choose their own coaching, their own coach or mentor, we do have, I call it a menu card, but probably it's like my fixation on food as being Italian. So we have this menu card that you open, you see all the profiles of people, and you see their specific competencies and skills, and we encourage a lot also virtual coaching. I don't know if you do that in your companies, but we don't have tons of budget to have people traveling around and seeing each other face to face. So I have, for instance, somebody in Dubai that is being coached by somebody in Russia. It's working fine. They do it by Skype, they do it by phone, they do it, how they want. All the coaches have been receiving a talent assessment so they can leverage their talents. So we focus a lot on talent. You know, probably you have been, hearing about the theory of let's not focus too much on the weaknesses of people. Let's see how they are talented. Don't teach a squirrel to pedal because it doesn't work. I mean, you can use a duck to pedal and use a squirrel to climb, obviously. So that's a little bit the philosophy that we have. We have currently 19 coaches, and they're all fully booked. We always ask for more coaches. It's a win-win situation. What we saw with the coaches and mentors is that we had a couple of people that were really a retention risk because there was no other chance for them to advance in the career. We are a flat organization. But by starting as coach, they take a great pride in helping out some other people in the business. And at the same time, there is a win situation also for the person that is being helped. So basically, we kind of solved a couple of problems at the same time. Then we have job shadowing and stretch assignment. That's something that we do a lot. Because we are a flat organization, we can't offer everybody a career step forward, but sometimes we encourage them to look horizontally. So once you encourage them to look in another department, you also need to give the possibility to check how does it look like to work in another department. So we tell them just go and do some either stretched assignment or secondment or even job shadowing. And the job shadowing is varying from 1 day until 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. It's always a little bit decided with the manager and between the two parties. Very, very helpful, by the way. It helps a lot also if you have a problem in a department and not understanding very much what another department is doing. So even for non-career perspective, we have been encouraging some people to go and do some job shadowing in another department just simply to understand what another department is doing, to start appreciating what is the work that another department is doing. And it's working really well. So yeah, as you can see, I have a little success story that my team wanted to show anyway. So this has been a lady that was just working inside the sales coordinator role, and she just went into an horizontal move rather than in a vertical move. And this is the time that she has been investing within the Belkin Academy in terms of development, and now we have been supporting her to just move to the other position. She's quite successful in what she does at the moment. This is our Belkin University. This is the first group that has been graduating this year after 17 months of program. Again, something that you might have yourself. We have it, but we had to build it with very limited financial resources. So what did we do? We went to University of Rotterdam. We didn't have the freedom and luxury of saying, design a program for us. So what did we do? We just checked what they had on the shelf. So we bought on-the-shelf programs. We put them together. We coordinated. Internally, we have been developing assignment for the people in between the modules. We have the entire executive team that is like sort of a professor now, correcting the assignments. So I got their blessing to do that kind of work in the evening hours. And in that way, we just had really a graduate program, and it has been lasting 17 months. We had even external speakers. We just looked into our internal network, because normally external speakers, they ask for money. We couldn't manage with the 100,000 euro. So we looked, we have a huge network within Belkin as well, so we had also internal speakers that were arranged for that. So as you can see, we publish every month a training calendar so people can see what's up and what can they do and what are the exciting trainings activities that are going on. We are very focused on personal development plan. At the moment, there is still quite a low uptake. I'm not sure about your experience with the PDP, but people in the beginning always think about PDP like, I'm like not performing. Do I have to do the PDP? What is the PDP? So with a couple of success stories of people that did the PDP and they went further with their career, now there is a better outcome of PDPs. So I think roughly we are around 38% of people with the PDP at the moment. Obviously, the target is much higher, but we are just processing in that direction. So what happens is when somebody makes a PDP, in the end, our HR team or L&D team is coming back to them with a tailor-made solution of training activities, learning activities that are reflecting the PDP that they have been presenting. As I said, at the moment, we still have very little PDPs, so it's for us easy to come back with the really tailor-made, we call it like the Rolls-Royce treatment of the PDP, but probably in the future when we will have more than that, then it's going to be a more difficult situation. We also have academy ambassadors that are promoting the academy activities all around the place in Europe, because sometimes it's difficult if you are not in the head office. Some people don't really relate with all the learning and development activities. So we have been really giving them some targets on how to promote the academy. It's working really fine. We started an academy online so that people can check the activities just online rather than getting emails and being overloaded with the number of emails coming from the L&D department. what are we looking to do in the future? We are at the moment very much busy with the career and learning pathways. Maybe that some of you have some experience. I would love to hear your experience maybe in the break. Simply because we have been focusing very much on the soft skills. Now we would like to have the combination of soft skills and hard skills, to have them together and just design the career pathways for each position that we have in the company. We have been starting, and we are, I think, 40% of our journey is almost finished, but it would be interesting if any of you have any experience with that. So that's pretty much what we are looking to do in the future. We are not there yet. I think we have something good for the type of company we are. Again, I mean, for some of you might not be relevant because you might be a big company with a lot of budget for learning and development activities. It might be for some others relevant because you are small. I think there will be still more activities to come up with. The beauty of a Belkin is that it's always the sky is the limit. So we can come up with pretty good ideas that are kind of accepted and fostered and actually encouraged within the company to activate and to implement. I think I have been doing pretty well for an Italian.
Very, very well. Thank you very much.
My question is, how do you select people to university?
We do a talent review. So there are several conditions for people. They are our hypos, basically. So whoever comes in that pool of hypos then has a place in the Belkin University.
Marlies from Heineken. I was wondering, you mentioned that you will give feedback on the PDPs to employees. And what's the role of the manager in that?
The manager gets to see the PDP, but again, it's not, first of all, the PDP is not compulsory exercise, so only who does want to do that, and I know that there is always the debate, should we make it compulsory or not compulsory, but once they have it, then we ask them if it's okay for them if we share with the manager, and that's when the manager comes into the picture and can give some advice as well and gets involved, basically.
Okay, yes, because we do it the other way around. So your PDP, you will set it up with your manager. Also, you will receive input on the competencies you need to develop. Yep. And it's a signed off plan. So it's not compulsory, although we would like to have it that way. But that's why I was wondering, why do you take such a big responsibility as HR?
I think it's more the responsibility of the individual. We don't like to take responsibility at HR, not at all. No. We facilitate.
It feels a bit like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more like we have been placing the focus on it's the individual responsibility. They come up with what they think it makes sense, and obviously you still double check with the manager in the end. But if they feel that the manager is involved from the beginning, probably they would drop off.
Hi there, my name's Scott McInnes from Allied Irish Bank. We've recently outsourced our L&D function in totality to Accenture, but that's brought with it a big chunk of e-learning, and I note that e-learning was one of the things that you have also. We find the uptake is very, very low, and I think it's maybe cultural within the bank that people say, well, I don't want to sit at my desk doing learning because that means I'm not working hard enough. I wonder if you've experienced that same challenge or that same problem, and if so, how you've overcome it.
I think in general it has been not as bad. We did have some similar feedback indeed, but I think because we tried the first with the typical e-learning, so the pre-recorded disc, that was not working because they were like, yeah, it's monotonous, we don't like it. But with the fact that it's rather interactive, they kind of enjoy it, and because it's only 30 minutes. These are sessions that are just 30 minutes long, so it's not a long one. So I see, when I'm walking around, sometimes I see them at lunchtime just doing that, and they say, well, it's nice, you know, it's 30 minutes and I can interact and it's cool. I can eat my lunch while doing that. So we are happy with the solution we have. It's by the way, it's a British company, and yeah, they are not even that expensive, to be honest. So even sometimes people are not using the licenses at the fullest. It's still worth the investment, I think.
Great. One last question from the gentleman here.
Sure.
Hi, thanks. Chris Luck from Pearson. You talked about talent assessment and identifying hypos. Could you just give us a few more minutes on exactly what process you're using, please?
Yeah, so we are with the executive team. We get together for actually 3 days. It's really intensive. But before then, each leader needs to submit their own deck with their own talent review, let's say, of their team. And then we do in those 3 days a calibration. So it's a long calibration of one by one. So we go through actually all 350 employees.